Hello everyone, my name is Raymond and I am your mental health coach. Today I want to discuss something that is near and dear to my heart that I have dealt with for years until I was able to seek treatment. Today's topic is self-esteem. Self-esteem by definition is the confidence in one's abilities, confidence in yourself. More specifically, it relates to self-respect. How much do you respect yourself and how much do you believe that you can accomplish something that you set out to do? Me, for example, I struggle with that sometimes. I struggled with it when I was younger and I still continue to struggle with it now. And so today I want to go over the ways in which you can increase your self-esteem and put yourself in a better situation to be optimistic about your abilities and your confidence in yourself. The first step when it comes to increasing your self-esteem is to recognize situations that affect your self-esteem. Think about the things and aspects and situations that tend to negate or deteriorate your self-esteem. So, is it a work or school event? Is it a crisis at home? Is it a challenging situation with a spouse or a loved one? Is it changing roles in your life? Think about those situations and figure out what makes it to where you believe you are going to struggle and what makes it to where your self-esteem is affected. The second thing you need to do is you need to be aware of your thoughts around the situation. Now, a common therapy technique is CBT. In CBT, we help clients negate negative thoughts that they're feeling. Now, one of the things that is crucial when it comes to self-esteem is your automatic thoughts. If something happens, what do you automatically think about the situation? And if it's something negative, that is usually what contributes to your self-esteem deteriorating. So when it comes to self-esteem, always challenge your negative thoughts. Always challenge your automatic thoughts. Is what I'm thinking true? Is what I'm thinking real? Is this something that's built on basis, or is this something that's built on fact, or is this something that is built on my opinion of what I think the situation is going to turn out to be? Me, for example, I struggle when it comes to believing in myself sometimes when it comes to trying new things. I explained this in other videos. I start thinking that I'm going to not be good at doing something new, and because of that, my self-esteem deteriorates. I don't believe in myself, and I don't respect myself enough as a therapist, or I don't respect myself enough as a person to know that it's going to be okay. And so the thing about it is I have to challenge those thoughts. So when I start thinking that I'm not going to do something, I'm not going to be good at something for the first time, and if I am, that's great, but if I'm not, it's okay. We all start somewhere. Someone has to start learning something before you can get to it. LeBron had to pick up a basketball first, then he got better at playing basketball. He wasn't just born a great basketball player. Same thing for Michael Jordan, same thing for Kobe. They all had to start somewhere. And so when it comes to that, when it comes to situations like that, I had to challenge that thought and let myself know that I'm going to start somewhere. It's okay. I'm going to get better. Same thing with therapy. And when it comes to speaking to people, when I started college, I wanted to be a math teacher. I didn't want to be a therapist. I thought about doing therapy, but I was like, I want to be a math teacher. I want to teach people math. But I switched because I was interested in the human psyche and how the brain functions. But I had to start somewhere. I wasn't just born knowing every psychological thing there was. I wasn't born knowing all type of mental illnesses. I had to build myself up to know it, to learn it, to study it. And so I implore you to challenge your negative thoughts.
Let's get ready to rumble!
So there are common negative thoughts that you should challenge. The first one is all or nothing thinking. So with all or nothing thinking, you see everything as black and white. Either something is all good or something is all bad. And so because of that, you feel as though if I don't do good at this situation, I am a failure. That's not the case. If you don't do good at this situation, that means, okay, I need to learn more. I need to understand where I failed at and then increase my knowledge in this situation. There's also mental filtering. So there are a lot of people who do this where you focus all on the negatives and none on the positives. And so you see all the negatives in the situation and you don't see any of the positives. I've seen this happen a lot of times. The way to challenge that behavior is you need to start looking at the positives in every situation. Be as optimistic as possible to the point where you start getting angry with yourself that you're so optimistic. But that's okay, because the thing about it is you're trying to challenge that mental filtering and stop yourself from seeing all the negatives in every situation. So one example that I can give you that I have to challenge myself on all the time is that when I'm talking with clients, I'll sometimes make a mistake. It's not a crazy mistake, it's maybe a simple mistake where I was talking and I messed up my words. And because of that, I'll feel as though oh, because I made a mistake, they'll feel like I'm not a good therapist. That's not the case. That's not the case at all. It's just a simple mix up of words. It's okay to mess up words sometimes. It's okay to stutter sometimes, you know. It's okay to not understand what you're gonna say fully, but then still say it and let your brain catch up. It's all right. Another negative thought that a lot of people do is converting positives into negatives. So you do well on something, or you do well on a test, or you do well in a situation, and you'll be like, well, I only did well on that test, or I only passed that test because the teacher gave us a curve, or I only did well on that test because it was so easy. You know, okay, it's easy because you studied for it. You took the time out of your day to make sure you knew the material. It's not just because the test was easy. You took time and effort. So think about and challenge that thought, and think about the hard work you put in the study and the time you spent studying, the amount of information you retained to make the test so easy. Challenge that thought. Another thing that some people struggle with is jumping to negative conclusions. Now, a lot of people jump to conclusions a lot. But the thing about it is, when you jump to negative conclusions, it deteriorates your self-esteem. So, for example, you're texting a friend and that friend doesn't respond for a long time. Or you're texting someone, they don't respond. You call someone, they send you the voicemail. The person who jumps to automatic negative conclusions would think that, oh, they didn't pick up the phone because they don't want to talk to me. Oh, my friend didn't text me back because they don't really want to have a conversation with me, because they don't want to be friends with me anymore. That's an automatic negative assumption. You need to challenge that and tell yourself the reality of the situation. My friend didn't respond to me because they're busy. Someone didn't pick up the phone when I called them because they're busy. They didn't pick up the phone because their phone's dead. There are a lot of situations that can happen because someone didn't pick up a phone, but a lot of times people will think that because something didn't happen like that, they will jump to an automatic negative conclusion. When you start seeing yourself jump to an automatic negative conclusion, start to figure out every other possible scenario in that situation. You probably will never know unless you ask, unless you have the ability or the time to ask them. But if you are never able to figure out what really happened in that situation, just think about all the other realities, all the other possibilities that could have happened that made this outcome become this way. Another thing that people do is that they will mistake their feelings for a fact. And so you feel as though because I feel this way, I must be this way. There are a lot of times where this happens. An example of this is if someone feels like they failed at a situation, they feel like, oh, because I feel like a failure, I'm a failure. No, that's not the case. You can feel like a failure, but that does not mean you're a failure. Those are two different things. Feeling some way and being somewhere completely different. But when you start telling your mind that you are feeling a certain way, your behavior starts to represent that. So therefore, if you feel like a failure, tell yourself, I'm a winner. This situation didn't go the way I planned it, but there's more situations. I can get better. It's going to happen at some point. Lastly, try not to do any negative self-talk. Never talk about yourself in a negative light. Never. I tell people all the time that do not tell yourself or put yourself down. A lot of times people will do this in a joking way, and yeah, you may think, okay, it's just, I'm just joking, you know, it's not really serious, I'm not really serious about it, but subconsciously you start to really believe that that's actually happening. And so when I was younger, I used to always joke and be like, oh, I'm so stupid, you know, I'm so stupid, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that, I'm so stupid. Like, don't do that, because what started to happen is that I started to perceive that I was stupid in this situation. Like, I would make a mistake and call myself stupid or something. Like, don't do that. Don't put yourself down. Don't negatively talk about yourself. Build yourself up. And so what I started to do is when I made a mistake, I wouldn't say I was stupid. I'd be like, oh, I made a mistake, I'll fix it. Or I made a mistake, I'll make sure to do it right the next time. You know, I made sure that I put my emphasis on the situation and not on myself, because it was just a mistake. When it comes to building up your self-esteem, learn to accept your thoughts. What I mean by that is we're all going to experience negative thoughts at times. It's life. No one is going to be 100% positive all the time. You're going to experience some negative thoughts. The thing you need to understand is that you need to accept them and let them move past. Just let them, see them flowing down a river. You see it, oh, that's crazy, and you let it keep going. Don't fester on it. Don't let it keep bothering you. Negative thoughts don't need to be controlled, you know. You don't need to be like, oh, I'm never going to feel this way again. Like you may will, and that's okay. You're human. You're human. It's okay. And once you accept those thoughts, you need to make sure that you lessen their effect on your behavior. The main thing when it comes to self-esteem is that negative thoughts influence your behavior. And based on your behavior and your negative thoughts, that influences your self-esteem. Lessen the effect of the negative thoughts on your behavior and learn to accept those negative thoughts. Learn to accept your entire self as a person, the good and the bad, and learn to always think of every other possible reality of the situation. Learn to be optimistic and learn to put emphasis on the situation and not on yourself. If you feel as though this video has been helpful for you, I implore you to like, subscribe, and comment. Stay tuned for more mental health tips. If you'd like to support the channel, please subscribe to the Patreon. Link is in the description. Also, if you feel as though you need more help than this video can provide, or you need some extra assistance, please reach out to me at my website and book a discovery call, so that way we can figure out the best ways to help you start moving forward to your mental health goals and mental health freedom. Until next time, I'm Raymond.
This is war with the enemy. Think that it was meant to be. Living in a time where disease